Assalamualaikum and good morning. My name is Adil Rakifah binti Abdul Latif. My metric number is 264233. Today I'm going to share you about Chinese negotiation style. So, what is Chinese negotiation style? Chinese negotiation style is a mix of building relationship as well as bargaining for the best deal when negotiation with the Chinese. It is important to be patient, polite, and especially respect their culture. Don't let any of this get in the way of being strong negotiation. Expect your Chinese partner to be welcoming. Don't underestimate their business savvy. The relationship building side is sometimes overlooked foreign by their business people. For the Chinese, it is important to them on what is your position in their company and what is the company reputation, and do you keep your word. The signed contract does not necessarily hold the same importance for the Chinese as for many foreigners. The Chinese often look at the signed contract as a summary on what was discussed. Later on, if they have a disagreement, they will face-to-face to the contract. There is another reason why it is important to have a good relationship.
Assalamualaikum and good afternoon. My name is Nabila Tasnim binti Syahimi and my metric number is 259386. Okay, so I'm going to proceed with the business negotiation within America and also China. Okay, first, Chinese and American managers have a very different perspective and different negotiation way. In high context culture like Chinese, social context, personal relations, non-verbal are very important to the negotiations. Okay, so Hofstede theory have 5 cultural dimensions, which is the first one is power distance, the second one is individualism, masculinity, uncertainty avoidance, and the last one is long-term orientation. Power distance is which is less powerful of institutions and organizations within a country and country aspect, and also accept that power is distributed unequally. So but China society believes that inequalities amongst people are acceptable, which is individuals are influenced by formal authority. Individualism for America, both managers and employers are expected to be consulted and informed. Information is shared frequently, which is the amount sharings. And then at the same time, communication is informal, which is the workers and also the managers can cooperate without any barriers. But for China, highly collectivism of culture, where people act in the interest of the group and not necessarily of themselves, which is they're most likely to work in the group. Masculinity shows that America is a very typical American behavioral patterns, which is connected by the combination of high masculinity drive together with the most individuals drive in the world, which is, in other words, that America all shows their masculinity more on individually. Okay, so for the next, China masculinity society, success oriented and driven, which is they need to ensure the success can be exemplified by the fact that many Chinese will sacrifice family and more leisure more priorities to the work. Okay, so next is uncertainty avoidance. Okay, America does not have a lot of requirement of rules. They are more or less of emotionally oppressive, which is they are more towards on free, which is there's no rules, there's no regulations to be followed. So because they are willingness to accept, try to accept something new or different for their culture. But in China, it is low score on uncertainty avoidance because China are more comfortable with ambiguity. The Chinese language is full of ambiguous, which is that can be difficult for the Western countries to adapt because of the language barrier. But because due to American culture, there are willingness to try something new. But not least, for the long-term orientations, for Americans are prone to analyze new information to check whether that it is true. Thus, which is the culture does not make most American pragmatic. But this should not be confused with the fact that Americans are very practical. Okay, so for the last one is China of long-term orientations here. Okay, which means that it's very pragmatic culture in society with a pragmatic orientation. People believe that truth depends very much on the situation. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum. My name is Farah Izzati binti Muhammad Spari, number matric 264694. Okay, now I will explain about my part, which is Edward Hall, that apply by the two countries when they doing a negotiation. Okay, first of all, let's watch this video first. Your idea is so common and not interesting. I'm sorry for offending. Issue that China using a high context culture. This is because during the negotiation between China and US, China only using an expected silence to respond all the questions from the US. This means China using indirect communication. What is indirect communication? Indirect communication is the context of the message carries a lot of meaning. The diagram that have been shown in this slide, it shows that the shape of the arrow is more like zigzag. It means the message carries a lot of meaning and it's more significant. China also highlight on personal relation, which is the people and the time involved are more important than what involved in the message. It proved that during the negotiation between US and China, they have a lot of argument and a lot of different opinion, but China prefer to remain silent because China want to avoid the unfavorable impact in their relay. That means China put their personal relation at first, and they make the personal relation as their priority. Okay, move to the next country, which is US. In the previous video clip, it showed that US using direct communication and open confrontation when defending themselves. Also, the criticism they using are more formal. They will say whatever they want to say. When communicate with negotiators. That means they put they do not put the personal relationship at first, but they only put the objective as their priority. Other than that, in low context culture, what is important is what is written in the legal document and report. In the previous video clip, it showed that during the negotiation with China, US using a most written report comparing to China, they only using a few written report. This is because China only care about their personal relationship rather than written report. In conclusion, Chinese business negotiation are more challenging, which is the level of cultural intelligence is required for understanding. That's all from me. Thank you. We move to the next presenters.
Assalamualaikum and hello. I'm Nur Amalina Syuhada binti Ramli. My matrix number is 259165. The topic that I'm going to present is the globe theory that focuses on China's leadership. First of all, I will explain about the concept of leaderships. So what we can understand by leaderships? It is an interactive process which a person can influence others to achieve an objective and directs the organizations that produce positive outcomes. Besides that, a leader should be able to create relations with their subordinates, negotiate and guide them, also be a mediator to any conflict situations. In addition, a leader should be able to solve problems by considering different alternatives and also able to distribute limited resources appropriately. Besides, a leader should willing to take any kind of risk. In addition, leadership skill is something that a person can learn. However, the skills and knowledge can be influenced by his or her attributes such as culture, belief, values and ethics. So what is China's leadership style based on globe theory? Globe theory, or known as a global leadership and organizational behavior effectiveness project. It is the name of a cross-cultural research study. Besides that, through this research, they found the 9 leadership dimensions and also 7 countries cluster. And China is categorized as the Confucius Asia. Generally, Confucius' word dynamism is focused on social hierarchy, protecting the status quo and personal virtue. In this context, we are going to look at 5 leadership dimensions. Firstly is the charismatic. This dimension refers to leaders' ability to give inspiration, motivations, and expectation of enhanced or excellent performance. Charisma means to encourage enthusiasm in order to achieve common goals. Therefore, Chinese leaders indicate that these dimensions as being a major contribution to being a great leader. Secondly is the power distance. It refers to the less powerful members of organization or institution except the power is distributed unequally. In short, in high power distance culture, people tend to accept directive leadership. Meanwhile, in low power distance culture, people tend to expect participative leadership, which leader will consult with the subordinates before making any decisions. In this context, the Chinese leader have a higher level of tolerance of inequality of power in society. However, as the time changes, the young leader strive for equality in terms of power. Thirdly is the institutional collectivism. It is the degree to which individuals are integrated into broader entities. It claims that collectivities perform better when they work in group members, while individualists perform better when they work individually. For this context, if we looking at traditional value, the China have a higher score for this dimension. Next is the uncertainty avoidance, which refers to the society tolerance for uncertainty and ambiguity. The degree is people seek for orderliness, consistency in order to avoid uncertain situations. In this context, the Chinese people were comfortable and feel secure when they play it safe. So therefore, the Chinese leader will never change their management style in order to maintain the same structure.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Nur Atira binti Syabuddin. My metric number 259235. This video for the cross-culture management subject. The conclusion of the China business and negotiation style. I will explain this for the detail. A negotiating process will be structured and agenda point based in the context of the negotiation. In each of the negotiation process, specific factors relate to the different cultural value were identified. The mechanism is necessary for the Chinese businesses negotiations to success. This is generally useful for the understanding the Chinese style of negotiation. For the example, being able to conduct successful initial meetings can be a big challenge since the purpose of any negotiation is to reach a mutually beneficial agreement. Do the negotiate, China only use non-verbal contact during business talks to address questions using an agreed silence. They understand their message through their gesture and their behavior during business negotiations. A process of two-way learning and communication. After all, it also needed to further explore ways of communication involving a dual cultural perspective in cross-cultural negotiation. More attention should be paid, in particular, to further exploring initial negotiating meeting. Understanding of cultural differences lead to a higher rate of agreed progress. Paradigm of Edward T. Hall was a strong intellectual influences on non-verbal communication conceptualization in China and more broadly in shaping the intercultural communication field in China. Understanding the cultural realities of their negotiation is a mutual responsibility of negotiation style. Chinese usually not expected the immediate answer. They will attempt to give some time to think for the best result or the best outcome of the meeting. In China, they usually hold meetings to gather the information, which is to get the best solution or the best decision, and then they usually make the decision based on the best result of the meeting.